I've always found that sort of the value exchange at the heart of our industry a really fascinating thing. I do think it's driven a lot of our thinking at Goodloop, because you're right, no one has cracked it.
The prevalence to date with blockchain has been like financial instruments. Like a lot of the people that I meet in my kind of course of travel at blockchain conferences are like from TradFi or private equity or finance or whatever. Like it's been like, that's a huge market. There's tons of dollars that run through it. This was a new solution to that, but that's like just one of the
Yeah.
solutions that it can be used for. I think like I always jokingly say this, but like nearly everyone that is on the internet, like company wise, becomes an ad tech company to some degree. You know, like you get to a certain point where like our user numbers have like started to flatten out a bit. Like, how else are we going to make some money? And it's like, oh, like we could monetize this audience to some degree. And I think that is what we'll start to see happen. And it's just, you have to kind of interact with the blockchain. You have to connect your wallet, and then you actually have to like sign a transaction that says, I give explicit permission for this application to access information in my wallet. So it's like better than the consent banners that you'll see, because it's like you physically are giving it permission rather than consent. And it's like different, it's a bit nuanced, but different things.
I like that.
And you then have like a means by which some value can then be transferred along that to an individual. Like I don't think that's quite been cracked yet. I think like where like if you were to get paid for viewing an ad, like that incentive mechanism is wrong, because you would then go view 1,000 ads and you'd get paid $3, and the brand's like, oh my god, this one person's viewed 1,000 ads, that's no good for us. But like then if you only view one, you're getting like 1,000 of $3, and it's like, what is the point in that? So like the incentive mechanism, no one's quite cracked that yet. And in like instances where like a low dollar value would have a big impact on someone's life, there isn't the same dollar value attributes to the ads that they would see. Do you know what I mean? And then it's, so then the opposite's true for like, okay, there's a high dollar value to this particular audience, but they have high dollars anyway. So it's never like, it never matches up. Yeah.
Yeah. I've always found that sort of the value exchange at the heart of our industry a really fascinating thing. I do think it's driven a lot of our thinking at Goodloop, because you're right, no one has cracked it. You know, there's the sort of Amazon Smile type shop and will donate stuff on the one end of the spectrum. Then there's these sort of apps that come and go where you can sign up and watch ads and get money off your phone credit, money off your phone bill, that sort of thing. And you're right, like if you financially reward the user, it's never a meaningful amount, like enough to really move the needle. But at the other end of the scale, if you incentivize them with non-financial incentives, you undervalue the inventory, right? There's a ton of incentivized inventory on mobile gaming, but no premium advertiser wants to be like, oh, go on, watch our shitty ad, and then you get 3 coins and next level. Accepting that your ad is a necessary evil, which I mean, all advertisers are slightly egomaniacs and we think our brands are wonderful. And so you don't want to have to pay people to watch your ads. But the reality is that people are paying to avoid them, right? Like Scott Galloway has this fabulous saying that advertising is becoming a tax on the poor, because if you're rich enough, you subscribe to Spotify Premium, you subscribe to Netflix, and you never see an ad again. And so we do need to think about this value exchange. And this is where Goodloop sits at the heart of that. And a lot of my kind of philosophy around Goodloop is we should reward people for their attention. Their attention should be earned, not forced. But let's do something that's about social impact, because it's got a more inherent link to the brand values. It's not random points on a game. You know, you watch an ad for Dove and you fund self-esteem projects in schools. You watch an ad for the Ford Bronco and you fund the conservation of wildlife across North America. Like that's what the value exchange is at Goodloop. And I think that kind of gets, in my view, to a nice middle ground. And where it's really interesting, as you're sort of alluding to with this like extension of the blockchain into like our digital identity and how we control our permission, you know, what if there was a way to tell the internet, these are the things that matter to me, and if you want a piece of my value, if you want a piece of my data or a piece of my time or a piece of my income, then you need to have some sort of impact on sustainability or mental health or animal conservation, you know, whatever matters to me. Like, I think that's a really, really exciting kind of future that like both our companies could be a part of.